Namami Dhanvantarim Devam Surasura Vandita Parapatmam Lokajara Rukupaya Mrityunasham Tataramisham Viviraushadinam. Glories to Amrita Dhanvantari, the Supreme Divine Healers. Welcome to Integral Harmony Communication, Part 1.2. So, we have heard about what are the specialities and the ideas behind integral harmonication. Now let's go into some details, how the whole dilemma of communication developed from the root, and then we can, once we have understood that, we can map out a way to come back from this communication, this harmonic communication or non-integral harmonication, to integral harmonication. So, first of all, when we're in a pure self-identification, then as that self, we are imbued with divine qualities and we are in a natural harmony with divine law. So basically there are 5 main rasas or mellows, 7 secondary mellows, which can be summarized into 9, and each of them, they also have corresponding self-qualities. So we have basically 9 fundamental self-qualities, and I can give a quick run through them as far as I can recollect. So that would be compassion, clarity, calmness, curiosity, compassion, clarity, and humor. I don't know if there's a C word for that. So when we're in a pure state of consciousness and we are in identification with those qualities which are our natural self, then naturally our communication will be according to those qualities: compassionate, clear, calm, curious, creative, which corresponds to the mellow of humor, or hasya, that would be creativity, joy, etc. So there would be not much of a problem. But, and that's what happens when the self forgets its connection to Divine Source or God, the Supreme Original Personality, and its subordinate role to the divine, supreme divine will of love, and puts itself in the center and tries to act as an independent actor for its own satisfaction, then the passion guna will come. And because that identity that we're adopting in that moment is not our true identity, it is also not a stable identity, it is a very imaginary, provisionary identity which for that reason is unstable and needs a protector. So we imagine ourselves to be something we are not, and it is painful when that imagination gets threatened, and therefore another category of psychological, mental, and therefore also communicational parts develops. And these are the protectors or managers, and they will judge, they will interpret, they will defend, etc., for good reason, for good intention, to protect our non-real identifications. And that's where the whole dilemma of communication starts, when we don't identify with our self-qualities, but rather with those parts. And when they feel that they cannot manage a situation to make our false or temporary identifications feel good, look good, etc., then there is the probability of other more extreme parts developing. That will be the tamasic parts, the extreme protectors, firefighters also called in the IFS, and they can be very irrational, very harsh, aggressive, demeaning, etc., very harsh behaviors. So that is the situation that we're all in. We're having all these different types of parts in our mental system, and from time to time, more or less according to our development of consciousness and speech abilities, we speak from those different parts and always say I. Let me give an example here. So, if I say I feel betrayed, and first of all, that's not a feeling, but betrayed is a judgment. And I can understand that that is a protective function by judging the behavior of someone else as betrayal and masking it as a feeling. That is one of those functions that create a problem. But if I say that to someone, it's natural that that person, if not in a very high consciousness, will also react from a protective mental manager. And that will lead to unavoidable discord in communication. But if I consciously observe that a part of me wants to say that it feels betrayed, I can go into an internal communication with that part and try to understand what feeling that part is actually protecting by that judgment. When I can understand the true feeling, maybe I feel alone, maybe I feel hurt, then I can understand, oh, it's not I that feels hurt, but it's a part of my mental system, of my provisionary personality system, because the self does not feel hurt. The self is full of clarity, calmness, etc. So then, but that's a reality, that this hurt feeling is still there. I can speak from myself and tell the other person, when this and that happened, when you said this or when you did this, a part of my mental family felt left alone or felt sad or similar things, and it makes a whole big difference compared to the judgmental and untrue statement of saying I feel betrayed, which is not an open door for compassionate sattvic communication. And so you get an idea what is the dilemma and what is the necessity and the advantage of learning to speak from the self in a compassionate way about the parts, and the same goes also for the other person. We can see when a communication partner is speaking from non-sattvic identifications, and by gentle questions we can lead them from the tamas over the rajas to the sattvic platform, which we will discuss in subsequent videos, where we go more into details of all the different aspects that we may want to become aware of. So thank you very much for tuning in again to part 2 of Integral Harmony Communication, actually part 1.2. And your questions, comments are welcome. You're heartily invited to visit our website, web shop, etc. And also your donations will be very welcome to support the expansion of our soul services. All the links are in the description of the video. May the Om Love be with you. Jai Shri Radhe Shyam.